ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवं श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं स्वावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपीश गोपी कान्ता राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे राम हरे
राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shashwat, thank you for the wonderful Mangalacharan. We can now go on to reading the text for today, text 15 and 16. We will start with, is it possible for you to do it, Shashwat?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we start with Om Namo Bhagavate.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Navaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shlokir Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. Abhibhrattaryamadantam yatavad agakarisu yavad dadarayu sudravtvam apsapad varsasatam syama. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Maybe I can try and repeat. Abhipradaryamadatam yathavad agnakarishu yavataraha shudratvam sapadvarsha satam yama. Word to word. Abhivrata, administered. Aryama, Aryama. Dandam, punishment. Yathavat, as it was suitable. Aghakarishu, unto persons who have committed sins. Yavat, as long as the Dadhara accepted Sudravam, the tribunal of a Shudra, Sapat as a result of a curse, Varsha Satam for 100 years, Yama Yamraj. So we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 1, Chapter 13, and the text for today is text 15. As we are waiting for Radhika Kasturi Mataji to join, we will read the translation and purport. Is anybody, could anybody read the translation for me? Translation and purport? Okay, Mataji has just joined. She's just joining us. So maybe I'll just read the translation till she gets her audio ready. So the translation is, as long as Vidura played the part of Shudra, being cursed by Manduka Muni, Aryama officiated at the post of Yamraj to punish those who committed sinful acts. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Please accept our humble obeisances on behalf of...
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Trying to connect to the computer. I haven't gotten connected to the computer yet. This is my phone. So maybe you can read the purport, Mataji. I'll be there.
Okay. So I'll read the purport. Vidura, born in the womb of a Shudra woman, was forbidden even to be a party of royal heritage along with his brothers Dhritarashtra and Pandu. Then, how come he occupied the post of a preacher to instruct such learned kings and Kshatriyas as Dhritarashtra and Maharaj Yudhishthira? The first answer is that even though it is accepted that he was Shudra by birth, because he renounced the world of spiritual enlightenment by the authority of Rishi Maitreya and was thoroughly educated by him in transcendental knowledge, he was quite competent to occupy the post of an acharya or spiritual preceptor. According to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, anyone who is conversant in the transcendental knowledge or the science of Godhead, be he a Brahmana or a Shudra, a householder or a sannyasi, is eligible to become a spiritual master. Even in the ordinary moral codes maintained by Chanakya Pandita, the great politician and moralist, there is no harm in taking lessons from a person who may be by birth less than a Shudra. This is one part of the answer. The other is that Vidura was not actually a Shudra. He was to play the part of the so-called Shudra for 100 years, being cursed by Manduka Muni. He was the incarnation of Yamraj, one of the 12 Mahajans, on the level which such exalted personalities as Brahma, Narada, Shiva, Kapila, Bhishma, Prahlad, etc. Being a Mahajan, it is the duty of Yamraj to preach the cult of devotion to the people of the world, as Narada, Brahmana, and other Mahajans do. But Yamraj is always busy in his Plutonic kingdom, punishing the doers of sinful acts. Yamraj is deputed by the Lord to the particular planet some hundreds of thousands of miles away from the planet of Earth, to take away the corrupt souls after death and convict them in accordance with their respectful sinful activity. Thus, Yamraj has very little time to take leave from his responsible office of punishing the wrongdoers. There are more wrongdoers than righteous men. Therefore, Yamraj has to do more work than other demigods who are authorized agents of the Supreme Lord. But he wanted to preach the glories of the Lord, and therefore, by the will of the Lord, he was cursed by Manduka Muni to come into the world in the incarnation of Vidura and work very hard as a great devotee. Such a devotee is neither a Shudra nor a Brahmana. He is transcendental to such divisions of mundane society. Just as the personality of Godhead assumes his incarnation as a hog, but he is neither a hog nor a Brahma. He is above all mundane creatures. The Lord and his different authorized devotees sometimes have to play the role of many lower creatures to claim the conditioned soul. But both the Lord and his pure devotees are always in transcendental position. When Yamraj thus incarnated himself as Vidura, his post was officiated by Aryama, one of the many sons of Kashyapa and Aditi. The Adityas are sons of Aditi and are 12 Adityas. Aryama is one of the 12 Adityas, and therefore it was quite possible for him to take charge of the office of Yamraj during his 100 years absence in the form of Vidura. The conclusion is that Vidura was never a Shudra, but was greater than the purest type of Brahmanas. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Change the name. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurummilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschayata Deshatharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shiva Sadi Gaurava Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Srimata Swagata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtanaha, Pratayantastavi Abhadrani, Vidhunati Sugritsatam, Nashtaprayeshu Bahu Abhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttamaslavati, Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to this class. First of all, hope you all had a good Gaur Purnima celebration in your place. And, now that Gaura has entered our hearts, we are probably regenerated. So it's a very auspicious beginning. I think it's a new year for all of us. So with that mood, we can get started with today's session. So there are several things I think you would have seen already. So the first 7 verses here is talking about Vidura returning to Hastinapur from his pilgrimage. So Vidura is returning after hearing from Maitreya about self-realization. So now Vidura returned to Hastinapur having learnt about the goal of self-realization from Maitreya Muni during his pilgrimage. Having established in the loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, Vidura retired from asking questions of Maitreya. Then 3 to 5, it is talking about seeing Vidura, Maharaj Yudhishthira, Kunti, others hurried to receive him as if regaining their consciousness after a very, very long time. They exchanged their obeisances and welcomed each other with embraces. So this is how the devotees, so how they are showing their love and affection is the loving embrace that is seen when Vidura came back to Hastinapur. And then they cried out of affection due to anxieties and long separation. And Maharaj Yudhishthira then offered a seat and reception. And then Vidura had sumptuously fed and given sufficient rest and comfortably seated all of them. There were talks, then the talks exchanged. See how one by one he is doing the reception, right? First, they gave a loving embrace, which showed how much love and affection they had for Vidura. Second, what did they do? They were of course shedding tears of affection, right? Tears of affection to show the love that they had for Vidura. And then After that, immediately they offered him a seat and a good, warm, welcoming reception. These are very important, I think. So people nowadays, when it comes to guests, Aditi Devo Bhava, that principle is kind of lost. Oh, why did they come? And even the guests, they kind of intimate you, okay, well in advance. Okay, I'll be there 10 to, I mean, maybe in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or half an hour, 1 hour, will you be available? They kind of ask so many questions to see how much comfortable you are to receive them at that particular point in time. And then only they come. So this is kind of what is happening in today's society. So because even with me, I think because of Bhagavatam, I'm realizing this fact. It's very, very, very important because they are, it's like equal to, they are like Aditi Devo is, it is said in the Shastras that they are equal to demigods, and we are welcoming those Vaishnavas to home, anybody who comes. And also they carry their Paramatma in the heart, right? Everybody has to be treated with respect. There's no question of not giving respect. Specifically, if they are going to come as guests, then even more respect needs to be given, and that etiquette needs to be followed. This has to be set in our mind, because otherwise we will start violating some of the things that are said in the Shastras, and it is definitely not a good idea. Okay. So we are also developing an offensive mentality by not giving respect to people. So we definitely need to welcome everybody. If they have come to our house, it is our duty to welcome them no matter what. Okay. This should be our mood. So because even when we spoke about Bhishma Dev's story, this aspect of reception was very much talked about, isn't it? And then how about Vyasa Narada Muni Samvad? There also Vyasadev, as soon as he saw Narada Muni, how much respect he gave. So this concept of giving respect to the guests who have come, or the spiritual master who has come, or anybody who's exalted, or the Vaishnavas who have come, this kind of etiquette is shown in Bhagavatam repeatedly. When something is said in repetition, that means it is very important. So we should not take it light, dear devotees. This concept of reception, affection, loving devotional service is spoken over and over again. We saw how Bhishma Dev, he was in the bed of arrows, and when when he saw Pandavas and Krishna, immediately, even though he was in the bed of arrows, how did he reciprocate with them? This was the mood. In spite of being in the arrows, Krishna was able to see the loving reciprocation of Bhishma. So this concept has to go into our heart. Okay. Now, conversation between Yudhishthira and Vidura. Maharaj Yudhishthira inquires to Vidura, your partiality like the wings of the bird protected us from many calamities like poisoning and arson. He inquires about his travel. While traveling, how did you maintain yourself? At which tirthas did you render service? And then the 10th verse is very important verse. It's saying, you purify the holy places because you carry the Supreme Lord within your heart. And then the 11th verse is speaking about the fact that the Dwaraka Vasis are always in rapt attention in the loving service of Krishna. And you might have seen or heard them. Are they living happily? The Dwaraka Vasis, how are they? Are they happy? Are they living? Are they situated properly? Like that he's asking. And then calamities come of their own accord, and compassionate person does not reveal the unpalatable and unbeatable events that cause others distress. Vidura related everything except the news of annihilation. So he even though he knows about what is going to come, he doesn't want to reveal it to them as yet. And then Vidura respectfully treated and stayed there for some time to benefit Dhritarashtra. Because by the association of the pure devotees, it is so much transformation can happen to people around them, because living Bhagavat is important. We are talking about a person Bhagavat, and then a living Bhagavat who actually replicates what is said in Bhagavatam. That is the living Bhagavata. When you have the association of such a Bhagavata, the association that you have is so pleasing. So much transformation can happen to a person. That is why in earlier days, people used to go to Gurukul and stay there in the Gurukul, because they can learn how the spiritual master actually is performing his spiritual activities and how he is behaving towards others, other living entities, other beings, how he is acting, what is his mood of reciprocation, how does he react when a happiness or distress comes. So much they are able to observe physically by going to Gurukul. And in that association, they are able to develop all those good qualities by being under the shelter of Guru, and they are doing service to the Guru. Without service, nothing happens, dear devotees. If we have to purify our desires, there are two important criteria according to His Holiness Haladhar Swami Maharaj. He says, if somebody has to purify their desires, then they have to do two things, two important things they have to do to purify it. Because we have as I told you, we have been here many births, and many births we have had so many desires. And these desires are so strong in us. How to take out the desires? Even though we don't want, sometimes the thought comes to us. Even though we don't want, we are in Krishna conscious process. We don't want to have that particular thought of thinking bad about a particular devotee. But that thought naturally comes to us. It's like a river flowing. Naturally, it's coming to us. What are we supposed to do then? I don't want the thought, but the thought is coming to me. How I'm going to stop it? It cannot be stopped. If you're trying to ignore it, will more and more haunt you. What you will do in such a situation when the thoughts are really haunting you? Any practical points? We just have to purify our desires, because the desires are the root. If the desires are purified, then there is no problem. But the question is how to purify the desires are so strong, because the desires are nothing but, what is desire? We have aprarabdha. Okay, aprarabdha means we don't have the reactions to that. We don't have, for some activities we have done, we have not got the reactions as yet. And then we have kutam. Kutam means you have set of activities which you have repeatedly performed over multiple lifetimes. Say, for example, eating meat. You have performed that activity of eating meat, say, for 1,000 lifetimes, 10,000 lifetimes. So those desires are kind of grouped under kutam. Okay. Now bijam. Bijam is, so when you have these sinful desires or any kind of desires you have, which has been repeatedly performed, so now they are becoming very strong. These strong desires are not able, we are not able to control those desires. It's kind of very strong. At this point, it has become karma. In the bijam stage, you are not able to control the desires, even though you want to, but you are not able to, because this has been performed by you for so many lifetimes, dear devotees. And this emotion has become so strong. The emotion connected to that particular desire is also very important, right? When you have performed the particular desire for a long period of time and you have a great intense emotion associated with it, then there is a stronger chance of you performing the same act in this lifetime also. So that is why you are not able to stop it. But the solution that Maharaj gives to us is you have to do Nam Seva. Nam Seva is serving the holy name. Serving the holy name is so much potent. We have all got this Nam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This Nama is so powerful, dear devotees. We cannot undervalue it. Because, again, why we are chanting this holy name? The mood is because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given to us. Because he is Patita Pavan. He has given this holy name. He said, you chant, then I will be happy. You chant Hare Krishna mantra. That is the mood with which we are chanting. We are chanting the holy name of this Harina. And that is why we are, and what he is doing, he is also cleansing. Through the chant happens, purification happens when we are chanting that, when we are chanting in the mood that Gauranga Prabhu Krishna, chanting name Mahaprabhu in this mood, what he is doing additional cleansing. Okay, he is doing additional cleansing to clean our hearts, like how he is doing that cleansing in Gundicha margin, again and again cleaning. Like that, he is cleaning our hearts, dear devotees. So Nam Seva is the way you can purify your desire. Another is Guru Seva. So Guru Seva, what is your Guru telling you? Guru's instruction. When we are able to execute the instructions of the Guru, then it will purify. When you have these two objectives as the, when you have these two things as the objective of your life, right? And Nam Seva. My Guru has told me So Maharaj also brings up a beautiful point. He says the purpose of the Shastras is to give education or to kind of help people understand and give the knowledge about Krishna. But what happens is by reading Shastras, we are getting more questions. You know, this is the mentality. That is because of our conditioning. As I told you, so many lifetimes we have just had so many crooked mentality. Lot of crookedness is developed into our heart. And that crookedness has to go. How it can go? Only by Guru Seva and Nam Seva. And again, Nam Seva is chanting in the mood of a humble servant. Humility. Humility is the mood with which we need to chant. We cannot, that mood has to come and we have to pray. Maharaj also says this movement is a crying movement. Like how a child cries to the father, that is how we have to cry. Because we don't know what is right and what is wrong. Please, Krishna, you help me. I don't understand anything. I'm hearing Shastras, I'm not able to follow Shastras. What is the situation of me? You have to cry, it seems. Because Prabhupada also says, we have to cry like how a child cries for the mother, like that we have to cry. This is a crying movement. And when we cry, the father, he will just look at our distressful situation and he will avoid the immediate results. Immediate in the sense, it could be gradual also. But again, there is a possibility. Because when a child is crying, the parent gives attention to the child who's crying rather than the child who's not crying, isn't it? Say, for example, both the children of yours are hurt. One is crying, another is not crying. Who will you go and give attention to? One who's crying. Like that. Krishna also looks at our mood. Gauranga Mahaprabhu has taught us this mood. If we are not going to execute this mood, then where is the question of getting mercy, right? This mood has to be executed. If we are not able to cry, then tell Gauranga Mahaprabhu, I am not able to cry. I am not able to cry. Even one drop of tear is not coming from my eyes. I am so hard-hearted. Please make me soft. Everything there is a solution. No problem. If you are not able to cry, no problem. Just pray to Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Nitai, please help me. I'm not even able to shed one drop of tear for you. I want to come to you, but I'm not even able to I'm not even able to show the mood of separation to you. How am I eligible then to come to your abode? This should be the mood, dear devotees. Again, it's all glories to Maharaj for sharing us these wonderful points. And then now, Vidura, what is his purpose of staying in Hastinapur, right? The identity of Vidura is being talked about in our verses for today. It's a beautiful story. And now we are going to see the Srila Prabhupada's purport, understand a few things from there, and then we will try to delve more and understand what we have to see. But before that, let me see if there are any important things that we could maybe cover from previous set of verses, and then we can move into the today's words. Okay. So with that in mind, I will get started on that. Okay. So if you look at the 10th verse, 1.13.10, it is saying, devotees like you are the devotees like you are holy places incarnate. You purify the holy places because the Lord is situated within you. Now, the personality of Godhead is omnipresent and his diverse potencies are everywhere. Just like how electricity is distributed everywhere within space, similarly, Lord's omnipresence is perceived and it's manifested by his unalloyed devotees like Vidura. Just as the electricity is manifested in a light bulb. The pure devotee like Vidura always feels the presence of the Lord everywhere. He sees everything in the potency as a potency of the Lord. And Lord is in everything. We all know Paramatma is there in everybody's heart. We should not hurt anybody. Because, see, for devotees, Paramatma becomes Krishna himself, Ishta Devata. Whoever is your Ishta Devata, the Paramatma becomes that Ishta Devata. And because of that, the pure devotees are able to have reciprocal feelings with that Ishta Devata. Whoever they have as Paramatma in their heart, we know he's Supatrishna Hanumanta. Mataji, what are you saying? How Paramatma is able to reciprocate? That's what I'm saying. For the pure devotees, when they are able to see Krishna everywhere, they are also able to see Krishna in their heart. The Ishta Devata, whoever it is, Rajendrananda Krishnan or Dwaraka Krishnan, whoever it is, they come to that person's pure devotee's heart. And they are able to have reciprocal feelings with that Paramatma in the heart. Paramatma in the form of Krishna in their heart. So this is the beauty of the pure devotees. Unalloyed devotees of the Lord, they don't have anya abhilashita shunyam, jnana karmati anavritam, anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama. This is the verse that talks about what a pure devotee is, right? Anya abhilashita shunyam, jnana karmati anavritam, anukulyena krishnanu shilanam. So if you look at anukulyena, whatever activities you do favorable for Krishna consciousness, that is anukulyena. Anushilanam. With your body, mind and words, you are doing activities for Krishna 24/7. Right? Direct devotion to Krishna 24/7. Jnana karmati anavritam. See, Jnana karmati anavritam is a long purport that Jiva Goswami has given to help us understand what this Jnana karmati anavritam is. Why not Jnana karmati shunyam? It's a big explanation to the purport from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. But the point is, the jnana and karma has to be avoided. When it comes to direct devotional service, it is direct devotional service to Krishna, engaged with him 24/7, that way, direct devotion. There are no other indirect activities that are performed. There is no karma, there is no jnana, right? And even if you perform jnana karmati anavritam is here, you're not eliminating jnana and karma, but you're saying even if jnana and karma is there, that jnana and karma are not covering bhakti. That is why anavritam is used. When jnana and karma are not covered by bhakti, that is jnana karmadi anavritam. Okay. So externally, this person who's a pure devotee, he may be doing so many activities like going to job, earning, doing farming, agriculture. It may look as if he's doing all the activities externally, but internally he's smaran to Krishna. Nobody can take that off of him. He's constantly remembering Krishna all the time, dear devotees. This is pure devotee. All the time he's only remembering Krishna. All the time singing the glories of Krishna. Even if he is doing work, anything, chanting Krishna's names, thinking about him, always meditating on his pastimes, internally his mood is completely different. Externally he may be doing anything, no problem. But internally he is a pure devotee. That is why we cannot judge what type of devotee a person is, right? We have Kanishta, Madhyama and Uttama, and accordingly we are supposed to give respect. But what the mood of the devotee, only the devotee knows. Hence, everybody has to be treated respectfully. The respectful criteria applies to everybody. Even if it's a Kanishta, is a Kanishta Adhikari, we are going to give him respect. If we are not giving respect, then aparat will happen sooner or later, because we are framing something about a devotee, right? If we are not giving respect, means we are thinking something about that devotee in our mind. Aren't we? We are contemplating about a devotee, and because of that contemplation, what would happen? Eventually, we will talk and blaspheme and criticize the devotee, and that will lead to a Vaishnava aparat. This is not a good idea, dear devotees. Very, how much difficulty we have come to this path of Krishna consciousness. And say, for example, because of service, because of following Guru's instructions, sincere sadhana, we have climbed up into the spiritual ladder, and this aparad, because of this aparad, what happens? After, we are going to come down. If we are here, we are going to come down. So this is not a good idea, because so much effort is already put into this process of bhakti, and Bhakti Maharani will not be happy if you are going to offend a devotee. Anytime, anybody, junior, senior, if a person is more knowledgeable than you or more service oriented than you, it doesn't matter. It's not like LKG, UKG, then first grade, second grade, third grade. He could be younger to you in age, but he is well learned in Shastras, means he's carried that from previous lifetimes. So we have to remember that and give respect to the person, not based on the age. Age is never a criteria, right? We have to kind of make sure that everybody is given respect. With a satisfied heart, we have to give respect to them, not artificially trying to give respect, but internally you're thinking something else about a devotee. That's also is not a good idea. Dupliciousness, Mahaprabhu doesn't like. Mahaprabhu doesn't like duplicitous people. He doesn't, he says, you pray to Mahaprabhu. If you're duplicitous, no problem, pray, accept. I have an offensive mentality to Mahaprabhu and Nitai will save you. He will save you, but you don't act in a different way and then internally think these are all very bad aspects of spiritual practices, which needs to be corrected. If you are not conscious about it, it will lead to a bigger aparat. That's why I'm telling this important point. It may look silly, but internally how we are and externally how we are matters a lot. So think about your internal mood. Don't think nobody knows your internal mood. Krishna knows your internal mood, and sooner or later that internal mood will reflect upon you as an external activity as well. Hence, we have to be very careful with regards to that. So this is a very important point, which states that anyone who visits the holy place, he must search out for the pure devotee residing in that holy place, take lessons from them, try to apply instructions to this in a practical life. That's why when people go to Dham, they always seek association of elevated devotees and try to be of service to them, right? If somebody is going, and of course, we have limitations as ladies, but then if your husband is a devotee of a Lord, Prabhuji can always go to Maharajas, take shelter of them, be of service to them, or as couple, you can do service to Maharajas and during that time in the Dham, and obviously learn a lot of things in that process of being in the association and serving them. So this is one of the reasons, why we, again, as a couple, if we go to the Dham, then we have to take shelter of the pure devotees and learn from them how to be. At least that will give us, one moment's association itself is enough. Okay, with a pure devotee, there is one moment itself can do wonders. We've seen so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada, probably they would have met him just at the time of Diksha, or in some cases, they would not have even met him. But even then, they are able to imbibe the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. Because just remembrance of a pure devotee is enough, it seems. Srimad Bhagavatam itself says that. Just remembering the pure devotee of the Lord will purify you. Say, for example, if there is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, I did not prepare this, but this just came to my mind. Again, this class was so spontaneous, I believe. I don't know. It's been good. I mean, the instructions are just coming from various hearings from different Maharajas. But again, the point is, with regards to this, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, he says this very, very important instruction. This is there deep in my heart. That's why it's coming out. But the instruction is going like this, okay? I don't remember the exact verse number, but there is a contrast between Ganges and pure devotees of the Lord, okay? So Ganges, if you have to take if you have to get purified through the waters of the Ganges, you have to, the Ganges water has to touch you. You have to sprinkle the Ganges water, even though it is in a distant place. That water has to be brought to your house, and then you have to sprinkle the water. So this is how you get purified. Or you could take darshan of the Ganges water by going to that place, and you can get purified. So these are the two ways with which Ganges could purify you. But Krishna Chakravarti Thakura is saying, he's just bringing out this beautiful point. He's helping us understand. See, you don't have to take the direct darshan, or you don't even have to be in proximity with the pure devotee of the Lord. What you have to do, dear devotees, is that you just remember. You just remember. Enough. That itself will purify you. You remember the pure devotee, like how we are talking about Vidura, right? Just remembering Srila Prabhupada, Vidura, so many characters, Ambarish Maharaj, just by remembering these pure devotees, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, what happens to us? Immediate purification happens to us, dear devotees. This is the secret that our Acharya is revealing to us, isn't it? This is a big secret, I thought. I really didn't know about this secret till I read this verse of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura. All glories to him. So he is telling, just remember the pure devotees, it is enough, my dear devotees. You don't, and if you're just remembering that pure devotee, so much purification is happening. Then what about serving him? What about being in the association of him? How much benefit and purification will happen through that process? Can you believe? Can you imagine? 100,000 times there could be so much you can derive by just associating with them,
then what about serving them? Even more mercy you will get. This is the point he was trying to say. Just remembering them itself will purify you. Then how, if I'm going to be in the association of them, what will happen to my status? Then not only being in the association of them, serving them, what will happen to me? So much will happen to me. So this is why whenever some pure devotee is coming to your place, right, don't miss that opportunity. Absolutely, it is important to go and seek their association, go and get their blessings, go and be of service to them. Suppose, say for example, there are senior devotees. Okay, this is a very hypothetical situation, and you are not having that opportunity to serve him. Okay, this is a very hypothetical situation, but it's a very practical situation that you will face. I'm not a senior devotee. I may be senior in age. I could be 60, 65, 70, 80, whatever. But I just joined Krishna consciousness. So I'm not in a position to be of direct service to Maharaj. Okay. But I've been invited to a program which is hosted by a young couple. They have been in the movement for a long time. Now you go to that place, right? You go to the place and where Maharaj is, but you're not able to be of service to them. But you see these young couple are serving them. What will happen? Immediate thing, a material mind will say, see, you are not given this opportunity. Those guys are given, and you will start developing jealousy. This is the fact. If you are having material mind, this material mind will force you to think in a certain way because of our conditioning. We have to first accept that. The point is, we are not able to accept our problems. So this is why we are stuck. We don't want to accept who we are. We have to accept, yes, this material mind is going to give me problems. It is going to make me feel jealous because I'm not able to serve the pure devotee of the Lord. But what our acharyas are telling here, a very important secret they are revealing. What is the secret, Mataji? Secret is, if you're going to be happy for them, then whatever service they are doing, you are going to get the benefit of that. This is the secret. Just an 180 degrees tilt to the methodology with which you need to think so that you can get mercy. What is the way you have to think? You have to think, yes, they are very nice. Very nicely they are serving the Lord. Very nicely they are rendering service. Very nicely they are taking care of Maharaj. Maharaj is feeling very happy. Because of that, I'm happy. Right? Krishna will be happy. Because when pure devotees are happy, Krishna will be happy. And now, because of that, I am happy. See, when this is the mood that you are inculcating into your practice of Krishna consciousness, then whatever service they are doing, the benefit that they are getting, you will also get. This is the teaching of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. He is saying that you feel happy for the person. And I think Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj also, I think one of them, I heard from one of them. This is the way a devotee has to think. So how much change we can, then mercy will flow. That's why we are not progressing further. You know, what is stopping us is just us. It is just our mentality that is stopping us. Okay. So that much, if you are able to understand, and if you're able to take this message to your heart and sincerely follow, try. If you're not able to do, no problem. At least seek shelter of Gaurang Mahaprabhu and pray. No problem. At any point you're stuck. My heart is so wicked. I'm not able to do this. Go cry. If you're not able to cry, say, I'm not able to cry. No problem. Whichever stage of devotional service you are, the point that our acharyas are telling here is that accept your defeat, accept your offensive mentality, accept your bad quality. That is enough. That will itself purify you. When you're able to repent for that offensive behavior, when you're able to say, cry, I'm a very bad person. I'm not able to even cry for you. I'm thinking bad things. I don't want to cry. Then purification happens. Okay. This is what we need to do, dear devotees. Nothing. There is no other secret. We have to pray. That is why there are so many prayers in Bhagavatam. We will try to analyze each and every prayer. When it comes to the prayer section, I will try to understand to the best possible capacity and try to reciprocate the mood. The mood of the preacher is He should understand the mood of the character that is given in Bhagavatam. If I'm not able to understand the mood of the character in Srimad Bhagavatam, I should not speak. This is the mood of a preacher. Very, very important. It's not just, oh yeah, I know the story, I can tell. No. I need to go into the mood of the character to bring out the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then only Srimad Bhagavatam will enter into you, it will enter into me. Otherwise, no possibility. Every preacher of Srimad Bhagavatam, it's not about just understanding outwards everything and then going and telling and presenting it very nicely in a polished way. No, there is more to it. The science, how is each and every devotee feeling? What is Yudhishthira's mood? What is Vidra's mood? What is the inner heart? How is their inner heart? That mood has to be understood by the devotee who is preaching. Then, when they are able to understand, they will then be able to transfer that knowledge, right? When you have something, you can give something. If you don't have anything, you can't give anything. That's why it's important to listen Srimad Bhagavatam from purified, that is pure devotees, as much as possible, to hear Srila Prabhupada, to hear from Maharajas. Just understand the mood, because they are able to see Krishna in their heart. And when they are seeing Krishna, they are not just talking Srimad Bhagavatam, they are realizing Bhagavatam. You understand? There is a difference. When pure devotees speak, they are realizing Bhagavatam. That's why it's important to hear from them whenever possible. So this is a very important verse, the 10th verse that we spoke now. So much is being stressed in various purports about how a devotee, he purifies the holy place that he goes to. If he visits somebody, then that house itself becomes a tirtha. So when, if you look at Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is being quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita that again, there is a question that was posed. Why did Mahaprabhu leave Jagannath Puri? And Bhattacharya responded saying, such are the pastimes of the great personality. It is Madhya Leela 10.11. It is saying, great saints go to holy places of pilgrimage in order to purify them. For this reason, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited many tirthas, delivering many conditioned souls. Many conditioned souls he has, so many places he has visited. All the places, why he is visiting? Because he wants to give mercy to all of them. This is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited many holy places. And then another question from Chaitanya from Chaitanya Charitamrita again. The king then asked Bhattacharya, why have the devotees not observed the regulations for visiting the pilgrimages, such as fasting, shaving, and so on? Why have they first eaten prasadam? So Mahaprabhu's devotees are there. Why did not they follow the rules and regulations? Some days we have to fast and shave our head. And why did they do all of that? Why did they first go and eat prasadam? What is the reason? Right? And so now there is a translation which talks about an important principle. It is saying that, see, one has to be a celibate before entering into the holy place. Generally, people are very much attracted to sense gratification. Unless they have sex at night, they cannot sleep. This is kind of how we are trained. The regulative principles, therefore, enjoin before a common man, when he enters into pilgrimage, he has to observe complete celibacy. He has to observe fasting, and then he has to have his head shaven, take bath in a river. All this has to be done because these methods are adopted to neutralize the effects of sinful activities. Visiting a holy place means neutralizing the reactions, because purification is happening to you. You visiting the holy place, what happens to you? Purification is happening. And those who go to the holy places, they actually unload so much of sinful reactions, and consequently, the place becomes, because of that, so now we are transferring so much of the sinful activities to that holy dham. And what happens? The pure devotees comes and that place becomes a tirtha. So now when the saintly devotees or pure devotees visit such holy place, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, they observe the sinful effects left by a common man, and again they purify the holy place. So this is what is being said. Therefore, common man's visit to a holy place and an exalted saintly person's visit to the holy place are different. The common man leaves his sin to the holy place, but the saintly person or the devotee cleanses these sins simply by his presence. The devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why they did not do all these rules and regulations just after visiting these holy places? If you were to answer that question, it is said that the spontaneous love of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were exhibiting the spontaneous love of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Immediately upon arrival to the holy place, they went to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And by his order, they took Mahaprasadam without following any regulations. You know, they are different from us. They are spontaneous devotees, right? They are spontaneous loving attraction. We have to consciously perform loving service to the Lord. Consciously, we have to do, oh, this is my time for Bhoga. This is time. Consciously, we were not spontaneously attracted to the Lord yet. That is Raganuga stage. But these devotees, they are spontaneously attracted to the loving service of the Lord. And they immediately take prasadam. Here is the prasadam. Then why will they not follow the Lord's instruction? Rules and regulations doesn't matter for the Lord, isn't it? The Lord himself is giving a direct, he's giving a direct instruction. Just take my prasadam. Then why not they will do that? This is what was the mood that was exhibited. And then, so obviously we understand. Now there's another episode which says in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he began cleansing Sanatan Goswami's body with his transcendental hand. Now we know Sanatan Goswami had a lot of pus and everything into his hand and he was not supposed to be touched. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't do that. I mean, didn't mind. And Sanatan Goswami said, oh Lord, please do not touch me. This is also from Madhya Leela 20.56. And then the Lord replied, I am touching you just to purify myself. Because by the force of your devotional service, you can purify the whole world, whole universe. Such is the potency of bhakti. By your force of devotional service, you can purify the whole universe. Imagine the potency of how much purified he is. That is why the one holy name is enough. When somebody chants without any offense, one holy name is enough to get Bhagavad Prapti. How that one holy, we are chanting so much, we are not able to get that effect. Why? So much offense, so much offensive mentality from previous births. So much is there that needs to be purified. But for that, we have to be conscious of our offense, isn't it? We are conscious. That is why Krishna consciousness. Consciousness means we have to be conscious of what we are doing. So this is the 10th verse, which is the most important verse in this chapter, because we need to understand who we are talking about. We are talking about a pure devotee, Vidura. And that Vidura has to be understood in a very, very careful way. And then we have 11th and 12th verses, which talked about, obviously inquiring, right? How are they doing? How is Krishna? How is Yadu? Vidura gradually described everything he had experienced. And then he did not talk about annihilation specifically, right? This was the mood that he exhibited. Now we have to understand what is Vidura's dealings with the Pandavas. If you are going to look at that, the Lord has already performed his duties to help the demigods, and he was taking rest. Now Pandavas, they want to wait as long as Lord is on the earth. They want to wait there till that time. Now Lord Krishna has personally descended to give that loving reciprocation to his devotees and also kill vanquish asuras like Kamsa, Jarasandha, Shishupal during the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthira. They were all killed by the Lord. Now he was awaiting annihilation of his own dynasty, that is Yadu Vamsa, who appeared by the will in the world. So he wanted to take the Yadus out before he goes to his external abode. And Narada, like Vidura, did not disclose this imminent annihilation of the Yadu dynasty, but indirectly gave a hint to the king. Just indirectly gave the hint, okay, that this incident is going to happen and Lord is going to depart soon. Indirectly, he gave him the hint about Lord's departure that's going to happen soon. What about Vidura's dealings with Dhritarashtra? How did he deal with? If you were to analyze that, we understand that there is that verse which says, alas, how powerful are the hopes of a living being to continue this very life. Verily, you are living just like a household dog eating the remnants of the food given by Bhima. So this is what it is. You are maintaining offense personified. Duryodhana as your infallible son, but he is envious of Lord Krishna. And because you are maintaining a non-devotee of Krishna, you are devoid of all auspicious qualities. See, he was conscious. He knows Duryodhana is very bad. He's envious towards Krishna. Even then, if you are maintaining someone because of your attachment to that person, what you are considered? You are considered to be having devoid of all qualities, all auspicious qualities. You are devoid. The inauspiciousness is coming to you because you are maintaining that person who is non-devotee of Krishna. Relieve yourself of this ill fortune as soon as possible and do good to the whole family. This was the instruction that Vidura gave to Dhritarashtra. Relieve. You have to relieve yourself from this ill fortune and do good to the people of the whole family. Now, to Duryodhana, what was his mood? Vidura's mood. And we know that there is an interaction that has happened. Who asked you to come here? You are the son of a mistress. You are the son of a mistress. You have to go out of this palace immediately. This was the word spoken by Duryodhana to Vidura. Thus being pierced by the arrows through his ears and afflicted to the core of his heart, Vidura placed his bow at the door, and then he quit the brothers. He quit his brother's place, that is Dhritarashtra's place. He was not sorry, for he considered the acts of Duryodhana to be the external energy of the Supreme. He knew what Duryodhana was acting under. He understood he's an ignorant person, because whenever a person is ignorant, he will act in a very foolish way. He will not act according to the laws of material nature. He will not act according to the Shastras, because he's ignorant. He knows either you can take shelter of Krishna's internal potency or external potency. If you're taking the shelter of internal potency of the Lord, you will become a good devotee and act in a good way and not have the offensive mentality. But if you're taking the external potency, Maya, and be of service to her, then you're naturally going to offend somebody. Offense is there, right there. Whenever you take shelter of external potency of the Lord, offense is right there. There is no doubt about it. Okay, this is another important instruction that is being spoken already. But now coming to this verse, we understand one time the soldiers of the king were chasing some thieves, and they caught them near Mandavya. The thieves were caught near that place, and there was a sage who was performing penance. They tying him up along with the thieves, they brought him to the king. By king's order, they were all impaled. But the king recognized the sage and had taken down and took care of him. And the sage went to Yama. So because the king recognized that he was also probably one of the culprits, and he took him down. The sage then went to Yama, and in anger he spoke. Why was I impaled? Yama replied, as a boy, you pierced a grasshopper with the tip of a kusa grass, and that is why you've been penalized now. Hearing this, Mandavya Muni cursed Yamaraj. Since you have punished me so severely, though I was an ignorant boy at that time, I was not at all a mature boy. I was a young boy, and why you kind of penalized me for that particular act when I didn't know what I was doing at that age? So you should become a Sudra. Like that, he cursed Vidura, and that is why he due to that curse, he's born here, to the as a son of Vyasadeva. Again, we have been instructed here that you should not consider Vidura as inferior, because obviously he's Yamaraj, and he was, he's trying to teach us through this pastime that how we have to be, see how dharmic he was, how he was following to the rules and regulations, how he was instructing Dhritarashtra, what all we can learn from him through this pastime. That is what we need to see. We cannot consider him, his post is so superior. He's responsible for, he's Yama, right? Yama means he's giving punishment to all people. You see, remember, we go to a judge, and judge is able to give a judgment based on seeing the defense from both the sides, understand, and give a judgment. So look at Yamaraj. Yamaraj, he has to take into account of so many things that you have done to your life. So much. In 1 minute, you can do so many aparats. Imagine how much 24 hours you can do. How much in your lifetime you can do. He keeps accounts and tracks of all those things, and then gives a proper judgment according to what you have done. And he is a Mahajan. And during his absence, we have Aryama, who's taking care of his duties in the Yamalok. So these are the aspects of Yamaraj, and through Yamaraj, we are learning the instructions of Vidura, and we are also seeing that Vidura, through Yamaraj, he is disciplining Yudhishthira Maharaj, because he is the one who can discipline anybody. He knows the in and out of everything, and that is why he can give instructions to Yudhishthira. Through this character, he is disciplining Yudhishthira Maharaj also. This is something we need to understand. So having attained his kingdom and seeing their heir to the dynasty, Yudhishthira, along with his brothers who were protecting Devatas, became overjoyed with the greatest splendor. So this is the conclusion of today's verse, dear devotees. So I think we saw a lot of valuable points, hopefully, that should I mean, every class try to take some things as takeaways and then try to meditate upon it, try to understand it in a deeper depth, and try to connect everything to Lord Hari. Everything to somehow you have to make that connection. That is the important thing. Everything has to be connected to the service of Lord Hari. Everything that we have in this material world has to be connected to service. So when we start to think about it from that perspective, then we will become conscious of what we are doing. So hopefully the instruction helps, and we will try to follow with you. I'm also there trying to be a follower to the teachings of our Maharajas, Acharyas, and all great souls. So we are really blessed and fortunate that way. So let's pay obeisances to all of them who taught this wonderful knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam, and be thankful to them. And again, service mood has to be there. Then only we can take it to our heart. So please try to have the service attitude and accordingly learn Srimad Bhagavatam in a humble mood, dear devotees. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. This was a wonderful class, very practical, and lots of points to take home. I know we have exhausted our time, but I still want to give importance to one of the points that, I mean, I've got 6 over here, but one of the most important point, because it will help me remember it as well, if I say it out right now, that we have to be cognizant of the offenses that we have or the disabilities that we have. And if we, I mean, obviously because of our past karmas and because of it being imbibed in our consciousness so hard, we just have to pray. But first recognize it. The thing is, we don't progress because we don't recognize it. So thank you, Mataji, for bringing that point out. It's so important, at least for me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You got the essence.
Are there any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. You know, it's early morning here. You made my day. The way you explained, you know, I don't have words. And as Mataji just said, practical, all these examples that you have given and all this knowledge that you are imparting to us is really, really very valuable. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, you are a senior devotee. Please don't say such words. I'm nothing in front of you. Please bless me so that I'm able to be of service to
you
this
just
group.
said something. You just said something in your class. That age doesn't matter. I may be older, but you are more knowledgeable. That we should admit. And
No,
also, you know,
please.
I
wish to take your blessing.
No, this little kind of jealousy, enviousness, and not recognizing our incapabilities. We should remember that. And also, you know, this jealousy is another kind of appreciating. We appreciate, but we don't want the person to know. It's kind of appreciation also. But really, I really appreciate your class. I must like bow down to you for sure. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. All glories to our acharyas and all glories to Maharajas. Halada Swami's teachings, His Holiness Halada Swami's teachings came to me because of Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj's association. So everything is happening for a reason, and I completely fall at their lotus feet for any. If I know something, it's their mercy, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
very much
Hare
for
Krishna.
passing those instructions to us. Thank you so much. I'll hand over to Path Prabhu. Path Prabhu, are you able to end the session today? We've exhausted our time.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yes,
Hare
yes.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for your nice and wonderful class. You are giving so much emphasis about the sadhu sangha. This is more important of the devotee. Like that is called the soul of the devotee. That is called like a soul. Without soul, like our body have no value. Like a devotee also the same as a devotee association. Otherwise, we cannot progress in our spiritual journey. Like every Shastra also told, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kai, Labe Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. That is only 1 minute, like you just give an example. Even so many devotees in Prabhupada times, even they want, not able to see Prabhupada, hardly they met, but they are exhausted devotees. They are so advanced. Even Prabhupada giving initiation by letter, just telling instruction, giving, yes, I'm giving such devotee initiation, and his name is that one. That's all. He never seen also.
Yeah.
But they are by the sadhu sangha and by their instruction, they are purified. Also, we can know also, already we read that one in Bhagavatam in the earlier stage, like how Narad Muni became Shudra. He talking about his lifetime to Sukadeva Goswami, Sutta Goswami, Vyasdeva, how he was in a son of a maid servant, but only serving of the Mahabhagavatam, he became a great sage. Already I read that one in Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
So that's
True,
the importance, yes, that is the importance of Sadhu Sangha. And wherever we're getting a chance, we're supposed to be not miss that one, because Sadhu is like you are talk, they are carrying God in their heart. Yeah. So that, like you told, if we go to the Ganges and taking shower, then we'll be benefited. But even we are remembering, then we are benefited. Also, that is written also in the scriptures. Gangara parasa pave paschatya pavane darsane pavitra kara etumara gun. Only by seeing you are free for everything. Only by seeing. Service is so far. If you service to them by your heart and soul, like we have also the same benefit like the Narada Muni did. So it's very nice, Mataji. Your class is very nice. Also, it is already described in the same chapter 13, the same chapter in text number 10. Tirtham kurvanti tirthani. Wherever the devotees are there, yes, that is not different from the Vaikuntha, because Vishnu Bhakta are there. Vishnu Bhakta, the Vaishnavas are there. That is not different from the Vaikuntha. So it is very, very important in this age of Kali, and as we are degraded and we are not progressing due to the association of the pure devotee. And wherever we get chance, by book, by message, now there is easily available quote of Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Every day the quotes are coming. That is very great and wonderful to enhance our devotional service. Thank you very much, Mataji, for your nice comment and nice point. We'll all in the same boat and pray to the Guru and Gauranga to giving more and a blessing through this service. Hare Krishna. So I request also all the devotees who is joining here, and we are so thankful to you. You are extend your time and your all the you just giving the importance here to learning. We are all associating and same. That is also Sadhu Sangha. Please, I request all the devotee unmute yourself and chant Hare Krishna mantra for glorification of Hare Grace Radhika Kasturi Mataji. Please join. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare.
Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Srila Prabhupada
Prabhupada ki jai.
All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and thank you for the wonderful comments. Really appreciate it. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
All grace Radhika Kasturi Mataji ki jai.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, dear devotees. Thank you.
Thank
you, Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
you.